honestly, it's just because everyone has a podcast now, so it makes sense for us to do it. I mean, like, if I have to hear everyone else do a podcast, you already know I'm gonna do one too. You know,
Exactly.
if I have to get your opinion, better know you're gonna get my opinion too. You know. Hi everyone. I'm Mark, and
Fadi,
this is a first episode of our new podcast called Chaikhana Boyz.
it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
Welcome.
yeah. So before I guess we give an introduction, we'll say why we wanted to make a podcast.
That's true. I think we should also explain what Cheikhana means because I feel
Yeah,
like
you
a
can
lot of
explain that.
I explain it.
You explain it.
All right. For many people in the Middle Eastern culture, typically when you go to like a coffee shop or something, you see a bunch of like older Middle Eastern gentlemen kind of just sitting in a group, pretty much arguing about politics and stuff.
We're the
We're
we're the people now. We're the older Middle Eastern.
Exactly. So like Cheikhana, I think it just mostly means like lounge.
Yeah,
So we're kind of like
we're lounging.
we're lounging, we're chilling. That's what this
Yeah.
podcast is about. Just chilling, and talking about random stuff. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Like the
So we recorded I guess you could say a pilot podcast before,
yeah
and we talked about why we wanted to start a podcast. You know, we said things like, oh, we want to do a summer project, and we want to, I don't know, just record the conversations we have.
Yeah.
That's not really why. Honestly, it's just because everyone has a podcast now, so it makes sense for us to do it. I mean, like, if I have to hear everyone else do a podcast, you already know I'm gonna do one too. You know,
Exactly.
if I have to get your opinion, better know you're gonna get my opinion too. You know.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. It's what it's about. It's a two-way conversation. You
Yeah.
record your end, we record our end.
But I'm not listening to your end. So,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? You can listen to my end, but you
It's
know,
like we argue, and then I only hear my part. I
Yeah.
don't care about your part.
it's like ordinary life, basically.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Do you want to give an intro?
Yeah, so like I said, my name is Fadi. Just finished undergrad, so that was kind of nice. Nothing special, but something special. And yeah, now I come from Iraq. That's why the flag's there. And I came to Canada in 2001, immigrated here, and I grew up here. I'm liking it a lot. Met a lot of people. This guy's one of them, and
You liking it so far?
I guess so, When you spend like
Yeah.
20 years here,
Yeah.
you're gonna like it.
My name's Mark. I'm 21. I'm almost done my undergrad too. I have one more exam. After that, I'll be chilling. You know, probably gonna get a master's or start the master's next September. Until then, this is our summer project, Chaikhana Boyz. Without further ado, let's get into the beginning. Okay, so we were talking before the podcast about what our first topic should be. Like, we're gonna talk about random stuff anyway, but like we kind of have to have some type of agenda
Yeah.
or something to outline, so we just don't go off on a tangent or just end up making a 10-minute podcast because we have nothing to talk about.
Exactly. We need like a jump off point,
Yeah.
sets it up, and then we move from there.
So today we're gonna talk about flopping.
Major problem in society today.
Yeah, so you know it's almost summer now. A lot of us are probably on summer vacation right now, and what ends up happening is, you know, we're all chilling. We all want to hang out with our friends, and you know, go somewhere, go on vacation, go to a beach or a park or something. But what ends up happening inevitably is
You know, man's flop.
man's flop. Exactly.
It's,
So, I mean, like, I feel like it's a very important topic. If anything, this is a PSA for people to just don't do it. You know what I mean? Just say you don't want to go.
exactly. Give us some notice.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I probably do it too.
I mean, yeah, I've done it too. We've all done it. It's one of those like things we're all guilty of.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't do it.
We shouldn't do it. I mean,
Up.
yeah, I guess we shouldn't do it.
By the way, next week, yeah, can't make it to that thing. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? Get it? Men's got you. Yeah, so Yeah. So, what's your opinion on flopping then?
It's a very delayed laugh track.
Is that hotkeys?
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
My opinion on flopping, it happens. You have some plans with your friends. You're ready to chill. Something comes up and you got to do it. But it's nice if you have an idea beforehand. Let your friends know. You know, it can't always be an emergency. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Well, honestly, whenever I flop, I'll be honest, it's always like the last second. Because it's like, what's the point of flopping if I don't do it the last second? Like, is it a flop if I tell you week in advance? That's not a flop anymore.
It's not a flaw, but it's a very like it's something you do with like a lot of common
Yeah.
courtesy.
Bro, what happens if I flop school? You know what I mean?
That's on you.
That's
you know?
skipping, no?
That is skipping, yeah. That is skipping. But I think with flopping, like if you skip a class and stuff, that's on you. Like profs don't care.
Yeah.
They're gonna be there regardless.
that-
They're gonna get their check,
That's a good
teach
point.
their lesson. That's it.
Maybe we have to structure friendships and like these like going out events in the same way. You know what I mean? Like we have to have something put in place, like some type of mechanism, so that the person that ends up hurting the most in a flop situation is a flopper.
It's the flop.
You know what I mean?
That kind of makes sense. They get hit with everything.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like the people who are depending on that person to show up, they get hit too, emotionally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to feel kind of sad, What if
Yeah.
I wanted that man's to come to this event? They're no longer coming, and then, it's one
Yeah.
less man's. And then especially when more than one man's kind of flops, then the whole
Yeah.
thing
Bro,
falls
that's actually
apart.
the worst. Because what ends up happening is like, let's say you're going on a trip with your mans, and then your man's mans, and then your man's mans mans. You know what I mean?
That's true.
What ends up happening if your mans doesn't go? Do you really want to be on a trip with your man's mans and your man's man's mans?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It probably doesn't make sense the way we said it, but it's like, okay, let's say like we're friends. We're pretty good friends.
Yeah.
I
think so.
So let's say we decide to go to the movies, and you say, okay, I'm gonna bring my friend too, but I'm not friends with that guy.
Yeah.
And then let's say you flop. Like, why would I watch a movie with your friend at that point?
That's
You know
true.
what I mean? So I'd flop too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one thing to consider too is like, that guy's friend, like my friend, is probably gonna flop by association because I flop.
Exactly.
Do you know what
yeah.
I mean?
It's like dominoes.
Exactly. So like you're gonna get hit, anyways.
Yeah. But I would like separate that from regular flops. I'd say that's like a flop casualty. Like you gotta know,
That's true.
like if that happens, like you can't blame me in that situation.
I guess so. What about this though? Like this is a whole nother thing going on. What about those times when you're with your mans and you're just chilling and then somebody brings up this like crazy idea for something to do together, but everybody knows it's not happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if we're sitting here, we're both like, we don't have Cuba money, but I suggest let's go to Cuba. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's go to like Europe or let's go to like France or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like we both know it's not happening. What about that, It's like we
I mean-
get our hopes up for nothing.
I don't think it's getting your hopes up. I think it's like people love imagining doing, oh my god, we're so crazy, we're so spontaneous.
That's true.
It's, bro, you gotta use your common sense. If we're chilling at a Tim Hortons at like on February 4th and it's winter outside and they're like, oh my god, let's go to Cuba, chances are we're not going to Cuba. You know what I mean? Just something to, get your mind out of the current situation, the weather, and whatever else is happening. But
true.
what would be a problem is that you talk about Cuba and then one person is invested in going and he starts making plans, he starts doing other stuff, and the other people kind of like, what's a word? It's like they kind of let him go with it. Like they lead him on, you know what I mean?
That's true.
And then one day they're like, oh, I can't do that. Are you serious? And
That's
when
true.
like, no one ever said like, this is a joke, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, we're actually gonna do it. Nah, I can't do it anymore. It's,
That's true.
that's a problem too.
Yeah, I can see that happening with a lot of things, not just like vacations, where it's like not everybody's on the same page, and then
Yeah.
kind of gets.
I mean, I guess I'm guilty of that too. It's like, if I, like the podcast, for example, if like let's say Fadi was really into it and I wasn't, and then I was just chill about it. I was like, yeah, let's do a podcast, but I didn't give like the same effort he put. Like I didn't meet you halfway.
Yeah.
What ended up happening is the same thing. I lead you on, and you do all this work, and you put all this effort in, and I just wouldn't, recuperate it. And it's just like, what's the point of doing that? You know.
That's true. That's a fact. You know.
But yeah, I mean, like I guess flopping is it's like mosquitoes. You know, it's a fact of life.
Yeah, it's just gonna happen. You know, it's just always gonna happen. Yeah. You just have to try not to be the person to do it.
Yeah. So to everyone watching, don't be a flop. All right, next up, we're gonna play the next clip. What's our next topic?
Our next topic. I haven't thought this through that far.
Yeah, bro, we had one topic. I don't even know why we switched it up. I don't even know why I pressed a button to see another topic.
It's like it's one of those things, you know. If I kind of just do it, maybe something will come
exactly.
up, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta wish for the best.
Do you want to talk about what you did today?
What I did today, nothing crazy. Honestly, it was just like errands and stuff like that. Just kind of helped. You know?
Ah, bro, we should have had that Squidward sound clip. No,
Which one?
the SpongeBob sound clip when he's talking to Squidward. Did you finish your errands? Did you finish your errands?
Words,
Another
yeah.
one?
That's a very specific sound like clip.
Okay, like let's test out one and see if people recognize it.
All right.
Let's do this one.
Ooh.
Go! Who that? Fire in the booth.
Bro, if you recognize one, you're a G.
You are a G.
Oof.
Shut your trunk and stop kicking the seats!
Bro, if you recognize one, I respect you. If you recognize that one, that one's pretty. Should we give that one? I mean,
Yeah.
that one's like from those like episodes of SpongeBob where there's like a flashcard that says like 2 minutes later or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the narrator guy. He kind of
Yeah.
does it. How
There's
about
an
this one?
episode where like he's like 2 minutes later, 5 years later, a millennium later, and he gets tired and he says, So that's I don't know. It's a pretty sick sound to be honest with you.
Let's see who knows this one. Major real one. If
That's
you know that one.
That's a childhood.
That's classic, bro.
Like that's a flashback, but that's also a childhood flashback too, because you should know what that is.
Exactly, it's nostalgic, bro.
Yeah.
That show, honestly,
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
Really?
Honestly,
Yeah.
like if there was Netflix at that time and Arthur was on there,
Yeah, we're talking about Arthur.
exactly, I'd be binge watching
Yeah.
that show.
Bro, you know what?
Crazy.
You know what's strange? It's like when I was a kid, I used to love watching TV. You
Yeah.
know, but then like you have so much like I don't have the wahis I had as a kid. Wahis means like what is wahis? Like I don't have the patience,
Like the effort.
the
put in.
patience to like just watch TV and wait for my show to come on. You know what I mean? Like I don't have that anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely. Bro, before it was like when I was younger, like 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock was The Simpsons on
Yeah.
CBC. I think it was. One was on CBC, one was on like Omni or something like that. Remember this? And it was like when it hits 5, I know it's The Simpsons, and when it hits 10, I know it's Simpsons. I'm gonna sit down and watch that.
Yeah.
But then now it's like if I want to watch Simpsons, I'll just go online and just put The Simpsons on, or like with any show, right?
How old were you?
That time, like I was watching Simpsons when I was like 7, 8.
Stayed up until 10?
I was there, but that's the thing. I had like this agreement with my parents where it was like I'll go to sleep right after The Simpsons, no complaining.
Bro, I did the same thing. Not with The Simpsons. You remember Ned's Declassified School
Yeah, yeah.
Survival Guy?
Word.
Bro, I don't know why, but I don't know if it was new episodes, but they like they'd air episodes like at 10. So I was like, okay, how can I make this situation so I can tell my parents, all right, I know I'm supposed to sleep at 10, but just make it 10:30. Never worked out. But I mean, Ned, like, who cares about Ned's Declassified anymore?
So you're
It's
just
not like a
using
big
that
thing.
show as kind of like a workaround for your.
No, like I liked it, but like nowadays I'm not like. It's like with everything. It's not like I'm like everyone has the power to watch whatever they want anymore. No one's watching Ned's Declassified School Survival Guy.
That's so true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, even like with The Simpsons, Who's watching The Simpsons
Bro,
anymore?
that's the thing, because it's like
Like-
The Simpsons are so good,
Yeah.
and like we have so much like cultural, like we can like quote The Simpsons in
Yeah.
like regular conversation. People like, you know, will get it. It's like cognitive, but I don't know. It's not like no one. No one watches new episodes of The Simpsons the same way they watch new episodes of like Game of Thrones or something.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean?
It's just been going downhill for a while now. Like
Yeah.
it's just not worth watching. I remember. I think last week's episode or an episode a while ago. I don't know. I just read it from an article. They were making fun of like people from Newfoundland in that episode. Like there was a clip in there, and then like it was a Beaverton article, so it was like satirical, anyways. But like it was just laughing at the fact that like nobody cared about that joke
Yeah, bro.
because there's like 3 Canadians actually watching The Simpsons,
Yeah.
right? Like it's just like who cares?
Plus the Newfoundland, bro. Like, when did you hear that? Like in grade 3, grade 4. The
Honestly,
Newfoundland thing.
when did I hear the Newfoundland joke? Like 2 years ago.
Straight up.
I didn't know that
Jeez.
Newfoundland joke.
Maybe it's because you didn't. I don't know. I went to a very Italian white school, like when I was a kid for elementary school, and most of the like they were Italian, but they were like more like what are they called? Munchie cakes? So like they were more like what you don't know what a munchie cake
I don't
is?
know what that
That's
is.
how you know you. That's
don't
not
know
how
what
you.
that is.
That's how you know you didn't grow up in a predominantly Italian community.
I guess.
It's like. It's like it's like whitewashed Italians almost.
Okay,
Like they're like so
okay.
assimilated that they're barely Italian anymore.
I see where.
And they always used to make Newfoundland jokes. Like the teacher would make Newfoundland jokes too, right?
Yeah.
And like we just wouldn't like. I still don't get why it's about like. I don't know if they're like stupid. You know what I mean?
I think it's just.
I mean, there's one community that's a parallel. You know.
Yeah, that's true. That's the thing. When I
You
heard
know what
about it.
community we're talking
Yeah, I
about.
know.
right?
That's the funny thing though. When I heard about the whole Newfoundland joke thing, it was because somebody took a joke from them and they just turned into a Newfoundland joke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez.
like the jokes just became parallel, and I'm like, jeez.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's like with every like I think like what is it like this like Springfield? There's like the Shelbyville,
Yeah, yeah.
and like it's like the same thing. That like, oh, Shelbyville people are backwards. The same thing with like Newfoundlanders and
Yeah.
the community we're talking. If you know what community we're talking about right now,
It's
it's
just one of
probably
those, like-
politically incorrect to say it, but if you know what community we're talking about right now that like mimics the attitudes we have towards or like Canadians have towards Newfoundlanders, like we mimic that attitude
Yeah.
to them. If you know, you know.
Honestly, it's one of those things too, though, where it's like people just kind of laugh at the other side of like
Yeah.
like your neighbor. You're just laughing at your neighbor.
Yeah.
Neighbor's laughing at you.
Yeah. I mean,
Come up with all these jokes for each other.
yeah. Well, I think with the situation we're talking about, the community that shall not be named, it's it's not really a joke. It's like
Yeah,
years
it
and
gets
years
pretty
of
intense. It gets
problems
pretty
and
intense.
carrot picking, carrot stealing, crop picking. You already know what I mean.
It is what it is,
Yeah.
you know. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. So
So,
beautiful.
what did you do today?
What did I do today? So I woke up in the morning. I had to
Word.
take the train down to Union
Awesome.
Union Station. I had to meet with someone, talk about some interesting things, and I went back. I went home, bro. I went on the streetcar from you know where St. Andrew Station is?
Yeah.
A nice neighborhood,
Really?
dude. It's so interesting from like St. Andrew to like Parkdale is like such a nice neighborhood, but once you hit Parkdale, it's like a terrible neighborhood. Not a terrible neighborhood, but it's like a not clean. It's kind of like
Yeah,
it's like more run down. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
So it's so interesting. Like if I take if I take 3 steps in one direction, it's like nice and it's like it looks rich and you know it's well cleaned and well taken care of. Take 3 steps the other way, it's terrible. There's garbage on the floor. There's so much garbage in the garbage whatevers
Yeah.
that like it's like spilling out. There's spit on the floor.
That's intense.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was
Dude.
spit. I mean, because it was raining, but
I mean, downtown in general, there's like all these. There's like spots, like areas you enter into, and it's just like a mess. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
But
But
it's-
that time we were like walking in, where was it? Like around Spadine area, and some dude was just like, kind of, urinating against the store
Yeah.
wall. It was just,
yeah, that was kind of weird.
it's very awkward to see some of these things.
Yeah, I mean,
Like I love downtown, but then once you get into like certain areas, it's kind of like, whoa, what happened?
like we went to U of T, right? So like we kind of have a different idea of downtown than kids from Ryerson probably do.
That's true.
I mean, because Ryerson is so like it's like so downtown that like it's not fun. You know what I mean? Because
Like
it's just
right
like
in the center.
yeah, it's so hectic and there's crazy people and people on drugs and it's like that's fine. You know, maybe one person on drugs is like a nice addition to your day. You know,
It's just
Know
like
what I
that
mean?
guy, you know.
yeah, it's you know, it's the sugar in your coffee. You know, like it makes you excited.
Yeah.
Like it makes you you heighten for a bit. You know. But if you live in that area, my God, you can't step outside without someone like spitting on you or something. Well, not maybe spitting on you, but like just like acting a fool. You know what I
Jeez.
mean? It's like Ryerson is like that, and then U of T is kind of like that, but like to a lesser degree, and it's more peaceful at the campus, and it's like it's more chill, and it's more like of a student
That's
town
true.
almost. You know what I mean?
I think you get the experience of downtown, like the nice part of the experience, right? Like
Yeah.
you're off center, but you still can experience everything. That's kind of good. Like that's
Yeah.
nice.
But still, my favorite part is Harborfront. Like Harborfront is like it's the most beautiful part of Toronto. Like I like places where it's more forested. Well, Harborfront isn't that forested, but because of the water, it makes it feel so much more like you're part of nature.
Yeah, that's true.
But like Ryerson is not like that. Like Ryerson,
No.
it's just concrete. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think like one of your classes in like a movie theater,
Yeah.
and like the other one, I don't know. It's like connected straight to Eden Center, which I see like the only benefit to that is like the food court, I guess.
Yeah. But that's the other thing. Like you get, like we're in our fourth year. You get so tired of fast food from like
That's true.
like when I was in first year, like you already know, like I was eating fast food. You know, I'm not gonna lie about that. You
Yeah.
know, the proof is in the pudding. But like we go, like I'd go and it'd be like, wow, like after a week of like getting McDonald's like 3 times in a week, it's like this isn't good. Like it doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
There's no point of it. It's expensive after a while. And then it's just like like I don't like fast food the way I used to.
That's
It's like
true.
that Drake
That's true.
lyric.
What Drake lyric?
I still love it. Wait, I still like it, but I used to love it more. Or I still love it, but I used to like it more. Something like that.
Jeez.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Not all fast food. I mean like do you consider like Bourbon Grill like bourbon like fast food? Bro, one of my friends posed this question to me the other day. Shout out to Carlos Manalo. Bro, he posed that question to me the other day. Do you
Like-
consider that fast food?
Bourbon?
Bourbon.
I consider it fast food.
Yeah?
Like if I can't get it in like a plate,
Mm.
I consider it fast.
Because this is the thing. This
That's
is the
true,
thing.
that's true.
It's like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy, all those like burger
Those are,
spots.
like,
They're
clear
fast food.
Yeah.
Is Hero fast food?
Hero?
Yeah. Is what's that place called? Five Guys fast food?
Ooh. I think it sets into like a full group. Like it's like a bar. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So like there's clear fast food and then clear restaurants.
So it's like
and these are like somewhere in the middle.
so you're talking about like it's like a spectrum.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a fast food spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
like bourbon, it would be kind of like bourbon is the fast food of like a nice restaurant of that type of food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would actually classify it as like mall food.
Mall food?
Because that's what I mean. Like, have you ever taken in that there's mall food? Like,
That's true. That's
like when you get shawarma, like it. Maybe there's shawarma fast food places and there's shawarma restaurants.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
there's like carts with shawarma, but like there's a lot of shawarma spots in like mall food courts, for example.
Ooh.
And then there's places like Bourbon, like Walk, and Teriyaki Express. Like Teriyaki Express isn't that much of a fast food, you know what I mean?
That's true.
I think after you pay like $10 for a meal, it stops being fast food.
Stop saying yeah.
It starts being like, you know, like you're
But-
eating regular food at that point.
But like
Restaurant food.
at the same time though, what is fast food, right?
Bro,
It's in
you
the
can't-
name. It's fast food. When you go to somewhere like Bourbon, bro, that's faster than McDonald's.
You're right. You're
You
right.
just straight
But still,
pour it into the plate.
I
bro.
think it's not
Like it's already set up for you. It's
But,
not
like-
fresh food. It's kept warm, but it's not like fresh off the grill for you.
Yeah, but fast food isn't like I think it has a different connotation than just fast food. It's like
Maybe.
I don't know, like I think it's taken on a different meaning. You know, like Subway. Subway fast food?
That's fast food.
It's fast food.
That's like I think that's clear fast.
Subway, burger spots. How about Tim's?
Tim's is fast food. It turned into fast food. It used to just be kind of like a cafe, which is like not really fast food, and then it progressively turned into fast food, in my opinion.
I'm gonna hit you with a
Go ahead.
curveball.
Do it.
Cinnabon.
Cinnabon. Oh, that's just like a dessert place.
Yeah, but is that fast food?
It's not fast.
Because you
food.
get a fast.
Yeah, but it's not food. It's like dessert.
Dessert isn't food.
Not really. Dessert's
Okay.
dessert. Like
Uh,
it's like
Like a pretzel spot. Like what's
Same
that place?
thing.
Anti whatever's.
same.
That's food.
It's
That's a pretzel is food.
No, I get it.
It's
but
bread.
Like, I get it, but like when I think of a pretzel, that's not like
Alright, alright.
a burger. You know?
But there's some places where the pretzel has like pepperoni on it. It's like a pizza.
bro, then that's fast food.
It's like a pizza pretzel.
then that's fast food.
That's fast food.
That's fast.
That's
food.
fast food.
That's fast. Food.
Let's say at Cinnabon. Okay, there's a place at Promenade Mall called like Cinnaholic.
Yeah,
I was there the other day,
yeah.
and they had a pizza cinnamon roll. A pizza roll, basically.
Bro,
Is that fast food?
yes, that's fast food.
Exactly, bro. So Cinnabon
It's fast food.
is
I
fast
guess
food.
so.
Know what I mean?
Yeah, but something like the Cinnabon, bro. You're not gonna put pepperoni on a cinnamon.
No,
Do you
no.
know what I mean?
But
Cinnabon
Cinnabon-
is like primarily dessert though.
Primarily desserts. Well, okay.
Bro, it has icing on it.
So
You can't tell me.
let's say
You put icing on like. Go for it.
we go to McDonald's, right?
All right.
And we're like, okay, we don't want the food. We want like a McFlurry or something. Is that fast food
No,
still?
because they still sell food.
But then Cinnabon also still sells food.
Cinnabon sells food.
Well, okay, not Cinnabon, Cinnaholic.
I
It
don't
sells
care about
pizza
Cinna-
rolls.
Bro, Cinnaholic is like $30.
No, it's... What's the point? Okay, so do you believe that fast food has to be under a certain price?
Yeah, I would say that.
Then
Is
how
that-
about like okay, I mean we don't have it in Canada, but like Shake Shack.
Shake Shack?
I think they're like a bit more expensive.
Yeah, but again, like these places are like trying to take fast food and put it to the next level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like I think they want to classify themselves as fast food, but then they also want to like kind of hype themselves up. Kind of like a hipster. You know what I mean? I think like those places are like the hipster of food chains. Cuz
Yeah.
like they want like the authenticity or like they want to call themselves fast food, but then they want to add their own like thing to it.
Yeah, but we're like in a murky territory because like right now if you go to McDonald's, they have like Angus burgers and like
Yeah, but then that's McDonald's
So,
trying to flip themselves
Western
into that.
chicken. You know what I mean? Like
Yo, but as long as McDonald's sells like Big Macs, they're still fast food. I don't care what.
Oh,
Like
yeah?
they could serve me like chicken, brought in by like some like waiter.
so you don't
Still fast
so you don't believe in the evolution of restaurants?
No, I do.
So you okay.
I'll give you a prime example actually.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is me kind of like my old memory was kind of messing up, but like what about Mr. Greek, bro? What I remember from Mr. Greek was it was like this top Greek restaurant. Maybe like I'm over dramatizing.
Yeah.
Right? But now it's just like fast food place. Bro, like there's Mr. Greek Express. Like they turn themselves into a fast
So we're
food.
presupposing Mr. Greek is a fast food place.
Now,
Okay.
right? But before it was more of like a restaurant. So like they're like de-evolving. Unless they're trying to just go in a different direction.
Because this is the thing, like Paramount sells like shawarma and like
Yeah.
Mediterranean, Middle Eastern. They say Mediterranean, it's actually Middle Eastern. Okay.
I think they go for like
Personal brand.
Lebanese, don't they?
I don't know. There's a lot of
Or they
like
don't. I don't know.
what's that place? Medina.
Yeah.
Medina says Mediterranean food. Bro, what is Mediterranean food? It's Middle Eastern food basically. Like I think people just don't want to say Middle Eastern. You know what I mean? Straight up.
It's kind of threatening.
Anyway, but like Paramount.
Yeah.
Paramount has a restaurant, but some places it has like the thing in malls, like a window place where you can buy stuff.
Yeah, they
You know what I
have
mean?
their,
Is that fast food at that point? Are they devolving?
I think that's still a restaurant
Mm.
moving into like the fast food lane, like with a fast food branch.
But this is the thing. They
but
don't.
not Mr. Greek. Mr. Greek just went down in quality. Like
Honestly,
restaurant
I've,
too.
I've
and
never
stuff.
even been to Mr. Greek, or I don't even eat that much Greek food. I think I've had like gyro before, and that's
Bro,
it.
I've had Greek food from like different places, and there's still only one place I mess with. Like still only one.
Chuck them on.
Bro, Greek brothers. Bro. Sponsor us.
Sponsor
man.
us, yeah.
Sponsor us. Nah, their food is like actually good. Like I don't like going to like a Greek place. Oh, and like there's like a few more when you go to like Danforth, but I mean that's Danforth. Like it's Greek town. Like that's meant to be Greek food. But I mean outside of that, I've had like Mr. Souvlaki. I've had like all these other Greek places. I don't even remember their names anymore. But like their meat's always like really dry, or it's just like that. It's like layers of meat, right? But like, what's it called? Doner?
Doner, yeah. Doner
Yeah,
kebab.
like it's that. But that's not the same thing as like gyro.
Yeah, dude. The thing is, like, I've only had gyro at. There's like this place near Harborfront called like Alexander's or something. We went once.
Oh yeah, word.
Yeah.
Theirs was pretty good too.
Yeah, theirs were okay, but like it wasn't like any like. This is the thing. I like Greek food. Like this might be controversial, but like Greek food is almost like Middle Eastern food, Mediterranean food in a way, because it's like gyro, souvlaki, and sometimes do they do shawarma?
They don't do shawarma.
So like gyro and
As
souvlaki.
far as I've seen, yeah.
Gyro is like basically kind of like pork shawarma, if that makes sense.
I think that's the difference though. It's pork.
Yeah, but like
Like you
okay,
don't really
maybe
see
that's
much
why,
pork
because
in
I don't
Middle
really
Eastern food.
like I don't really like pork at all. Like maybe it's just because I'm Iraqi.
That's true. I don't know. They also do lamb.
Actually, no,
a lot.
Iraqis. It's because like I like beef shawarma, I like chicken shawarma, and that's fine. And I don't like souvlaki that much. I don't
like
get
souvlaki.
like the chick. Like if I'm at a Middle Eastern fat like Medina or Paramount or Alibaba's or wherever else, I'm only gonna get the shawarma plates. I'm never gonna get that chicken leg plate.
Oh, like a quarter leg or something.
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
not gonna
Yeah.
get that. I'm not gonna get a skewer of chicken, and I'm not gonna get like a beef kebab. I'm just gonna get shawarma.
Fair enough.
I'll get a beef kebab from Paramount. You know what I mean? Cause like it's more of a sit down place, and I can kind of trust their kebab more.
Okay.
But
I guess
like,
so.
honestly, I don't even like falafel, so maybe like I don't have the best opinion on it.
Yeah, no, I'm not really a falafel person. It depends on the situation and stuff. Sometimes I'll feel it. Usually I won't. Kebab is one of those things where it's like, I've had it so many times at home. 'Cause, like my mom makes kebab. Like we don't really,
Oh,
like,
yeah?
if it's for home purposes, we don't really go out and buy. Like she makes some pretty good kebab. So like I'm kind of used to it already. So when I go to like if I go eat somewhere, I don't order a kebab because like it's never the same. Like
That's
I prefer
interesting.
my mom's, right? But then like she makes shawarma too at home and stuff. But then with shawarma outside, it's kind of different because like you see it there revolving. You know, like the grease is
Yeah.
like flowing down and like you know.
Yeah, like my mom makes shawarma too, but it's not like my mom doesn't have garlic sauce on deck or like
yeah,
what else do they have on it?
like the tahini.
The tahini, or like we don't have garlic like I guess we could make garlic potatoes, but like I don't know, it's not like
Yeah.
a traditional Iraqi thing to do, I guess.
Bro, I want your thoughts on something.
All right.
Shawarma poutine,
Nah,
bro.
I'm having trouble with like fries nowadays.
Okay,
You know what I
get
mean?
that.
Because it's like, maybe it's because we just had Soma. Soma's like Lent, so usually you fast for 50 days, and some people go vegan. So me and my family went vegan, and what ended up happening is I'd go from like rice,
Yeah.
tuna, because we're allowed to eat fish for some reason, kloche, which is like lentil soup.
Pretty much, yeah.
What else?
It's like a ton of potatoes.
You know tashri bagila?
Yeah. I get
Like it's like beans and then like bread, I guess.
There's a lot of bean soups. That
Like like lentil based and vegetables and rice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also like a lot of potatoes, which ended up like really making me hate potatoes. It's like when you eat something for like a long time, you just don't like it. So fries is the same thing. And to be honest, I don't get the point of shawarma poutine because it's like, first of all, if I wanted shawarma, I'd probably want it with rice or I'd want it on a wrap.
Okay, work.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, this is the other thing, because there's some places where their fries are good. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like, there's places like, well, like, what's a good place with
Bro,
fries?
Costco.
Costco has good fries.
Costco has like the best fries.
Personally, I like Five Guys fries a lot.
They're good too.
So it's like, those places, their fries are good.
Yeah.
Dude, shawarma places? No one likes their fries. Their fries aren't like anything special. I'm pretty sure I could probably make better fries at home.
Usually they're just like one of those like bags you buy from like No Frills.
Yeah.
Just kind of throw it in the fryer, comes
Dude,
out.
because this is the other thing with shawarma spots. Dude, there's a lot of them that sell hamburgers.
Yeah.
That sells like fish patties. They sell chicken patties.
I saw one with like Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah,
Bro,
exactly,
what
bro.
are you
It's
doing?
like, I doubt they're making good Philly cheesesteaks or good burgers at those
course.
spots. You know what I mean?
But like also, if I'm going to like a place, like a shawarma place, am I gonna order a Philly cheesesteak?
Exactly, bro. It's like,
why?
it's like, okay.
Bro.
It's like going to Mandarin's and only getting the fries.
Yeah.
It's like, just don't go to Mandarin's. Go to a place with good fries.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
bro.
Maybe is that like
Nah, that's pretty good.
is that controversial for me to say? I think that's pretty like sane. You
Nah,
know?
that's pretty. It
Makes sense,
You're
no?
not gonna pay the price of everything
Yeah.
or whatever, and then you just get one thing. One thing they're not even like specializing in, which is crazy.
I don't. It's. Yeah. Would you eat that? Would you eat shawarma poutine?
I mean, I'd try it just to see it,
Mm.
see what's going on, like why they would even try to consider this. But just the idea, it's like we're in Canada. There's like this whole hype with poutine recent, like past
Dude,
couple
honestly, I don't
years.
even like poutine that much.
Honestly, I like it, but then it gets to a certain point where it's just
Dude,
too
it's
much.
like, dude, for me, it's like, I like variety in what I'm eating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
So it's like, if I'm gonna eat, maybe like a small poutine, that's fine. Like, if
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, if it's like if it's like this big. You know what I
Okay.
mean? That's like enough. If it's this, that's too much for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, because when you eat poutine, the top is good, and you start liking it, but then once you get to the middle and the end, it's just like wet fries and like disgusting gravy and like the gravy splitting from the oil because you probably got it from a bad place, you know, and the cheese. Dude, my high school, you know what their poutine looked like? It was like the fries, I think it was chicken gravy, it was like some disgusting looking gravy, and cheddar cheese
Yeah, no.
on top. But that's not poutine.
I think that was ours too, but like with mozzarella cheese. That's not poutine.
That's not poutine, right?
Bro, if it's not like cheese curds, it's not poutine. I've seen plenty of places where they just try to like finesse mozzarella on it. It's not poutine.
Yeah.
It's
I
not-
mean,
bro, poutine for me, it's like I'll crave it and like I'll see a smoke and I'll be like, oh, I kind of want some poutine, and like you get the idea of like all this stuff in it, right? Like getting like maybe like some vegetables or like sausage or bacon, but then when I do that, in the end, all it tastes like is just gravy. Like everything is so drenched in gravy,
exactly.
and like it just takes away from the flavor. For me, it's like if I want like a good poutine, I'll end up just going to Costco.
Bro, that's the other thing. I'm kind of suspicious of those places where they're like outrageous with like, oh, you can like get a Thanksgiving holiday poutine.
That's
Because
not-
those places,
Yeah.
whatever they're putting on top isn't good. You know what I mean?
Obviously.
It's like the lowest quality of that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if they're getting a Philly cheesesteak poutine,
Bro, it's cheese sauce. Like it's like that
it's
cheese whiz,
it's,
bro.
it's cheese whiz. Well, I think they already do Philly cheesesteaks with cheese whiz actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like bad cheese,
yeah. Like it's not properly. But that's the thing.
bad
though.
steak.
Like there's a difference between a place actually doing cheese whiz,
Mm.
and like actually doing it on purpose.
Sure, yeah.
And like finessing, like properly
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
the meat and everything like that. And a place just doing it just to do it.
Yeah, I think it's like,
It takes away. It takes away.
Bro.
From,
I'm just gonna say it. Not everything's pizza. Not everything has
yeah.
to have all these different toppings on it and be so special and be
That's
so
true.
creative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like, dude, it's like, if you look at all those like if you go on like those like food Instagrams that have like, you know, donuts with mac and cheese on it, or like hot dogs with cheesecake on it or something.
Yeah.
It's just stupid because what they want to do is like they just want to be like, oh, look how crazy we are, we're so innovative, but like no one's gonna eat that first of all, and I bet you what's on top of it, like that topping you put on top, like that cheesesteak you put on the hot dog, it's bad cheesecake. It doesn't make sense. No one eats cheesecakes with hot dogs.
but I think it's the idea that like they're not trying to get people to eat it and be like, damn, that's good. like this place has the best hot dog cheesecake ever or whatever. Like it's just the idea that like let's do something crazy. Somebody's gonna eat it just because it's crazy. Like you could sell a lot of this crazy stuff to people, right? Just because they'll eat it just to eat it. And that's just the idea. It's just that, craziness factor.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the first guy who like deep fried a pickle. Actually, there are people who like deep fried pickles.
Like
But the first guy who did it, it was probably just that idea of like, oh, let me
be
do something
outrageous.
crazy. Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, like, there's stuff like, well, maybe we haven't seen the way it's gonna go down in the future, but like
Maybe.
stuff like that, like deep fried Snickers, like you know what I mean, like like innovative things.
Yeah.
Cookies and cream ice cream, that wasn't normal at a certain point, like that.
Probably.
Someone had to invent that. Mint chocolate chip ice cream is my favorite. Someone had to invent that.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
don't
I mean?
like mint though. I don't like
I
mint
love
and
it.
chocolate. Like I'm not a fan of that at
This
all.
is a whole. We're gonna save that for the second podcast.
That's true. That's true.
But like all of those things, like those innovations, they stood the test of time.
Yeah,
Rainbow bagels,
but
not gonna stand the. I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna stand the test of
what
time.
you have to consider though is like during that time while mans were producing those things, there were probably some other mans producing some next things too. And those ones didn't stand the test of time.
Yeah.
These ones did.
Yeah.
Right? So like one of these things now that people are doing, it's gonna stay.
What do you think it is? What do you think is gonna
What
stick?
do I think it is? I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen enough crazy things. I
I'll
don't
tell
look
you.
out for this.
I'll tell you. This is my idea. Cake pops. Cake pops.
But I
They're
mean,
gonna stay, in my opinion.
that's not a crazy thing though.
It is kind of.
No, it's just
Did
literally
you see cake
a round
pops
cake.
when you were when you were a kid? Did you say cake pops?
No, I get it. It's a new
innovative.
thing. It's
Yeah,
an
it's a new
innovative
thing.
thing, but it's not a crazy thing. It's a round cake.
I mean,
it's practically a Timbit
but
on a
I don't
stick.
think like these like innovative things, like it's a hyperbole. Like I'm making fun of like whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like they don't have to be so crazy, but like if they're a little whack, if they're like a little unordinary, those are probably the ones that are gonna stick more. Like cake pops, they're still kind of strange to me. You know what I mean?
For
'Cause
me, it's
bro,
like
it doesn't
I just
even
think
taste.
of a Timbit with a stick.
But it doesn't taste like a Timbit on a stick.
Yeah,
You're lying if you say it tastes like.
It doesn't,
like
'cause
it has
it's
like
thicker, like,
frosting
it's
on top of it.
cakier.
It's cakier,
It's
sure.
cakier, yeah. But like
Yeah.
the idea is just there. Like the same thing. I don't know. For me,
I don't know. I think cake pops are probably gonna like. I'm not saying they're gonna be like mint chocolate chip ice cream, but like they're probably like, cause like if places like Starbucks sell it,
yeah.
it's like at a certain point like they're
Bro,
they're whatever.
Should we
They're
talk about
mainstream.
Starbucks food, bro.
Yeah,
Starbucks
bro. Nah, I don't mess with it.
It's, bro, it looks good, and like you think it's good because the quality of like their coffee and stuff, I guess. But then ultimately it's literally in a plastic bag, put in like the heater, and then just taken out. That's crazy to me. That's very crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cause those
Can't mess
places,
with
it's
that.
like.
Like,
You know
come
what
on.
they do?
Even Tim Hortons puts more effort into their food than Starbucks.
Let me tell you about Starbucks. You might already know this, but they finesse you in a way.
How?
Cause they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna sell you a $4 cookie or whatever, $3, $2,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna heat it for you. So you're gonna be like, wow, my god, they're heating a cookie for me. Wow, this is so much better.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just a stupid cookie in a microwave, basically.
But
You know
it adds
what I mean?
value to it.
It might add value,
Yeah.
but not that much value that I have to pay $1 more for it.
Do you
'Cause-
pay for heated cookies?
No, it's not that you pay for it, but then if I go
Oh,
walk
I
to
see.
McDonald's and I get a cookie, it's cheaper.
Like relative to another place. I
Relative
get
to
it.
another
Okay.
place.
I see.
That doesn't heat it. But it's like, if you're out here paying $1 extra for heated cookies, I don't know, man. It's like,
Bro, but
you can make your own cookies at that point.
Bro, but do you know what I've learned? Like, generally the people, like, if we do this, I feel like the workers are gonna get mad. But you can ultimately do it like you want. Like, you can tell Tim Hortons to heat your cookie. They might get
What
mad,
do you mean?
especially if it's
Oh,
busy.
you're right. You're right.
But they'll heat it for you.
You're right.
You know, like you're gonna piss off.
But
some
I'm not
employees.
that.
That's.
I'm not that. What's the word? I'm not that. Adventurous.
That's. True.
I'm not
I
that
don't-
assertive, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on the situation. Like if it's really like chill in the restaurant, nobody's there. Maybe I'll ask them. But if
For a
there's like a
heated cookie?
lineup, yeah. If there's a lineup, I'm not gonna sit there asking them. You know, but what's crazy? I had something. No, I forgot it. Now I forgot it. I don't know what. It's gone. I got it. I can't. Seinfeld is a real
Seinfeld,
show.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Great show.
Yeah, I mean, getting back to the fast food spectrum thing, it's like I think like there's things you know are fast food, but it's like everything in like the world today. It's all like abstract and it's murky and everything's gray instead of black and white, so you don't know. Like
Yeah.
McCafe.
That's a cafe. I wouldn't consider that either. I don't
But-
consider cafes fast food.
McCafe, McDonald's cafe, McCafe.
Bro, but there's McCafes without the McDonald's.
No,
now.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because those places,
Again, that's like
they sell like if you've been to one of those like standalone McCafes,
Yeah.
they sell like croissant sandwiches,
yeah, bigger breakfast sandwiches.
breakfast sandwiches, croissant sandwiches, soups, stuff like that.
Bro.
Okay, but this is going back to the evolution thing, because if McDonald's is evolving at a certain point, if McCafe is its new evolutionary stage,
Yeah.
what are we saying? We're saying that McDonald's has evolved into being more than fast food.
Yeah, of
You
course.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I
like-
see it more as like it's branching out, trying to hit everything. It's kind of like with cars too. Like Volkswagen owns, what do they own? I think they own like BMW, right? But BMW is
Do
a
they
higher.
really?
I can't remember anymore. I used to know this, but I forgot what they own. Some like
Some
other
German
car.
company?
They own another German car brand, which is like more luxurious. And yeah, it's like it's still a Volkswagen, which is still good, but then it owns a more luxurious car brand.
What's another parallel to that? Did you think of?
I had one too.
It's like Google owning Snapchat.
Nah, Google doesn't own Snapchat.
Doesn't?
I don't think so.
Oh, so they just ripped off the idea from Snapchat. The Instagram stories and the Facebook stories.
Yeah, essentially.
Jeez.
Facebook owns Instagram. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Facebook owns Instagram and WhatsApp.
And WhatsApp?
And WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's why every time Facebook doesn't work, WhatsApp and Instagram don't work either.
Exactly, yeah. That's what's like I think that's what's crazy to me, and I learned this like when I learned this, I found it so interesting. A lot of times what companies do is they don't sit there trying to like develop all this new stuff. They just buy another company who's working on it, and then they just kind of make them a part of their own company. Like Apple. Bro, they didn't sit there developing Siri. There's a
you're
whole nother company that was just working on like sound command, like voice commands.
You're right.
They bought them, and then they're like, okay, we'll just change their name up. And
Yeah, I
throw it
never
in our
thought
phone.
of that.
That's so crazy to me. You know, nobody's actually sitting there developing every aspect of their phone or whatever it may be, their product. They just buy other companies.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of like
That's different than what we were talking about, but
yeah,
I
but
found
it's
that
like
interesting.
that type of stuff. It kind of like I don't know how to describe it, but like it kind of pulls apart the idea that like companies are good productively because they're good productive institutions in society because they create innovation. Because if companies end up just taking other innovative companies and taking them under them and making them what do they call them, subsidiaries or
Yeah.
whatever else, what ends up happening is like Facebook right now. If Facebook owns WhatsApp and Instagram, they don't own Snapchat and what else, Twitter or whatever else.
Yep.
What ends up happening is Facebook is creating for itself a monopoly in a sense because it's monopolizing, how many, like 15% of social media?
I guess so, yeah. Like in a case like that, yes. But when it comes to like technology, kind of look at it differently. Because it's kind of like, why should I start from the beginning and start developing this new thing when this company has put in like way more effort into it? And I'll just buy them out. And it's not like I'm going to fire all those people. I'm going to pretty much help them use what they're developing
Yeah.
and put it into like a major platform.
Yeah.
So it kind of helps them out. And as long as you buy them out for a fair amount and everything like that and they're okay
But
with
I'm
it.
looking at it as like monopolizing something.
Yeah,
like
so-
taking like the whole spectrum of that whatever that field, like that commodity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
with
like
social media, you get into that
yeah,
aspect
it's
of
like
it.
if there's 4 companies for electricity, for example, and then 2 of them deal with something specific, and then the other 2 buy those out. There's gonna be 2 companies that deal with electricity, and at that point, it's what do they call it? A duopoly.
Bro, that's the biggest
Duopoly.
problem. That's the biggest problem with Canada and their whole like cell phone service.
Yeah, bro.
For whoever lives in Canada, they know this.
Bro, all
cell
of
phone plans are insane in
all of
Canada.
telecommunications, yeah.
It's crazy, bro. Like I talked to, like I know, like my cousins, for example, in Middle East, bro, they have unlimited data. Bro, people in India have unlimited data on their phones, and we don't. And
Yeah.
that's because like there's two companies in Canada, like three, but two in Ontario mostly. Bro, these companies, they own all those other little companies, and like the worst part too is when those companies start talking to each other, and they become friends, bro. Because then
Yeah.
nobody's competing anymore. They're just like, we're gonna set the price at this. You
Yeah,
agree? We agree. That's it.
Yeah, they end up making cartels.
Yeah.
But the problem with cartels is sooner or later it becomes beneficial for one of the part of the cartel to lower prices, and then when they lower prices, it ruins the whole point of the cartel, and things start like messing up.
But I
Like
mean-
with OPEC, like with the oil producing countries, what ended up happening is like they form a cartel, but then one of the countries, I think it was, I don't know, probably like Bahrain or whatever, using Bahrain as a scapegoat. But what ended up happening is they lowered the price, and it basically ruined the whole point of the cartel, and it
Yeah,
didn't make sense
I get
anymore.
that.
So maybe that's gonna happen with like telecommunications.
Maybe.
Because like sooner or later, like the, what's the word? It's, you know, the invisible hand is gonna start working, and people are gonna, someone's gonna find productivity and like, you know, some type of money making and, you know, lowering a price. It's the way people work. It's
Yeah.
people are rational.
See what
in a
happens.
sense.
But there's
Companies are
times like
rational.
they find ways to finesse out of it. I remember there was a point where I think Verizon was coming into Canada. They were like trying to like they're in talks. I don't know if they were confirmed to or not, but they were about to, and like there was like going all around, and then all of the companies lowered their prices. Like that was the first time I remember like people were getting 6 gigs of data, and that was like absurd because like everyone's just at like a gig.
Right.
Max 2 gigs, but then like all these companies are selling like 6 gigs for like really cheap amount just because like people are hearing Verizon is coming in, so they're like locking all these people into contracts, right, for that great deal. But dude, like what I found out later is that a lot of these companies, they were like producing ads and stuff where it's like, keep America out of our like economy, right? Don't let this American company come in, you know, we're out here, like we're Canadian companies, you trust us, we're like already a part of this, don't let Verizon come in because it's American. So like everybody's kind of like, they get obsessed with that idea,
Yeah.
right? And it's like good to be patriotic, but when these companies that are like finessing you tell
Yeah,
you to
it's
become
more like-
patriotic to help them,
Yeah, well, like patriotism
Kind
is
of
a
a issue.
mechanism for something else.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, you know, we went full circle. I mean, like
Bro,
we talked about
talk about
what do we
everything.
start? We talked about flopping, then we talked about fast food, and we ended up with politics. Why? Because we're in a Chaikhana,
Exactly, you know,
and men's in Chaikhana end up talking about politics anyway.
that's how it is.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's honestly, we're gonna be we're talking about everything, and I think what we're gonna start doing is also getting your opinions, your topics. We want to hear from you. Like
Yeah.
once we kind of start like the social media or anything like that aspect of things, we want to hear what you think is like a fast food restaurant. We want to hear your opinions. So let us know, you know. Look out for it. And like add this podcast, listen to it. Throw it
Yeah,
in
man.
your car.
Support us. You know, we're doing a service. Like I understand there's thousands of podcasts,
Yeah.
but like we're unique for some reason. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Bro, we're in like look at our
This is my basement.
bro,
You know what I mean?
we're in a basement. We're using like this great equipment.
I think
you know?
there's probably water pipes making noise for half of it.
Exactly, you know. But like, does Joe Rogan have that?
Bro, does Joe Rogan have this vintage Iraqi flag complete with Saddam Hussein's writing? I don't think so.
This
You
is
know
like
what
the
I mean?
OG one.
Yeah.
You know,
We're not making any political comments.
Of
This
course.
is 100% neutral, this podcast.
Yeah, we're both just Iraqi, and we want to show that, and we want to talk to you guys about everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy, you know.
Yeah, man. So, from everyone here at,
Fire in the
I love this
booth.
guy so much. Honestly, I love this guy so much.
alright, from everyone here at, Chaikhana Boyz Studios, we thank you. Have a good night,
You know, we
and
love
good
you.
luck, America.
We love you. You know, maybe too early to say that, but we do.